Nassir, first, the question is going to be to you. And I think this is an area which has been identified by Zafar when he made his introductory speech, and also by Finance Minister to a certain extent when we were talking about the payments and the kind of concentration that we have had in terms of cash, which obviously a lot of cash concentration is there in the agriculture, in the SME, and in the merchant value chain. And we have been struggling with this for quite a long period of time, Nasser, although there have been some improvements in this space in the recent past. But obviously, the opportunity is such large that we probably would need to take some concrete measures in terms of digitizing that 9 trillion plus cash that we have in the economy. So I would like to ask you some of the suggestions that you may have for the regulator and the government especially, in terms of how they would like to progress with this, pursue this, so as to make this happen as efficiently and as timely as possible.
Thank you, Faraz, for that question. I think a couple of things. I think the Honorable Finance Minister also mentioned the word war on cash. We've talked about it in various television shows as well. And I think till now, what we have been trying to do in terms of digitization is the incentivization of digital channels, and then that driving a certain level of adoption. However, when you look at the parallel economy, because within that cash, there are chunks of where people aren't financially included in the sector, either through wallets or through accounts. So there is a certain amount of cash in circulation, because of that. A lot of it has to do with the parallel economy. And as Naveed Sultan in his presentation was sharing the global numbers of the undocumented economy, that was roughly about 6 to 8%. In Pakistan, when you look at estimated 40% being in the black, it requires, when we talk about war, it's not just about olive branches, but it is about disincentivizing cash. So really we need to look at, how do we, for example, disincentivize it to an extent where it kind of does a level playing field with the sectors like the corporates and others, which are already paying taxes. So when you do it to that extent, then the benefits of coming into the documented economy become attractive to individuals. I think the other big concern is that if I have been in business as a small agriculturist or as a small SME for the last 20 years, if I start to come into the organized sector, what is going to happen about the last 20 years that I've done business? So I think there has to be some level of collective thought that needs to be put into this predicament if we are to move it forward in a meaningful manner and to be able to make a significant chunk out of it. Theoretically, when you look at it, if we were to eliminate this 100% also, there is still requirement for digitization. We simply don't have enough awareness, enough knowledge, especially among some of the disadvantaged sectors. So a certain amount of cash, and I think if you look at India's stats that were flashed, is going to remain, and that's okay. So I think if we take that kind of an approach with a constructive dialogue across all the sectors, including representatives from the sectors which aren't documented, we do need to have a more pragmatic conversation and put the right mechanisms in place that enable us to go forward. Because frankly, no matter how many sweeteners we do, these two elements will always remain in the back of their minds, and they will continue to avoid this until there is a pragmatic solution on the ground.